What's up, Kansas City? This is Jim Watts on 18th and Vine. Today we got a very distinguished character, person, friend with us today. Reverend Congressman Emanuel Cleaver. How you doing today?
Good to be with you.
It's good to be here. It's good for you to be here today, and I know that you're probably a little tired. I've been knowing you for a little while. You got a few more wrinkles on top of your head and a whole lot more gray hair.
Lot more gray hair.
And no big afro.
Yeah, my fro won't grow no more.
It won't grow no more. This is really a very interesting time. It's really a historic event, almost like some of the more famous marches that we've had and movements that we had in the United States over the years. Of course, you've been involved in quite a few of them. So give us a take on this election.
Well, I think this election is about more than two people wanting to go to the White House. I think this is almost a referendum on progress as far as I'm concerned. And by that I mean we're trying to either elect one man who has a clear and undisguised history of treating people poorly. In 1973, he was sued, and not by just some slyster. He was sued by the United States Department of the United States Justice Department, and they sued him for discrimination. And what they did, he and his father owned apartments in Washington, D.C., and they would send a African-American couple to rent, and they'd say, we have no vacancies. And then they would send another white couple, and all of a sudden they had vacancies. And so it was discovered in court that on anytime a black person applied for a residence, they put a C on the application for colored, and then a W on others. So it was a clear case.
W on others.
It was a clear case of discrimination, and Donald Trump's father, he and his father owned the apartments together. They agreed to settle out of court with the Justice Department. Now, when you settle with cases like that, you are allowed to say, I accept no accusations of doing wrong. It doesn't mean you didn't do wrong.
Right,
it means that you settle, and so the case is over, so you can say, we have not admitted any wrongdoing. And so Donald Trump, when he's asked about it today, that's what he says. Well, we didn't admit any wrongdoing. Of course, the issue is if you didn't do anything wrong, why did you settle?
Right.
He settled because they had the goods. They had, the applications ready to go to court, and that's when the Trumps said they didn't want to do it. And anytime a man or a woman or anybody else is a bigot toward one group, to me, they are a bigot, period, and they'll be bigoted toward me. And when Donald Trump said that a Mexican who was born and raised in the United States of America could not render an objective decision in a court case about his universities, then to me, if that's the case, then he would say the same thing about African Americans.
Right, that's right.
And so I decided early on that when he made that statement, that I could have nothing else to do with him, because I saw him as a bigot. Now, I was in the room. I was in the room when President Barack Obama attempted to make light of Donald Trump's whole entire effort to legitimatize his presidency by saying he was born in Kenya. Now just think about how ignorant this is. A baby is born in Kenya. Late at night, they wrap him up, put him on an airplane, and fly to Hawaii because they know that in 50 years he's going to run for president.
Right.
I mean, it's just absolutely ignorant.
Right.
And so Donald Trump started the whole birthing movement, and because he didn't want President Barack Obama to be a legitimate president. And so I simply can't get beyond that. I don't want to get beyond that, and I think there's plenty evidence for people around this country to see that this man does have a bigoted spirit.
You know what? On a good note, talk to us about the sowing of the seeds, good seeds and bad seeds, as in regards to this election that's coming up, and directed towards our millennials.
Well, I think that, you know, in the world, if you get theological, you know, there's a parable in the New Testament about the sower of the seeds, and you can always see where the good seed fell. Now, sometimes if it falls on hard ground, it's difficult for it to blossom. But you know, if the ground is fertile, the seeds can in fact produce a great crop. And so I think that's where we are. When we elect for president, we want to elect somebody who, if given the fertile ground of the United States, that they will let justice grow, they will let peace grow, they will let racial harmony grow, they will let the economy grow, and so on and so on. Now, you know, now we also are told that you know, that the Lord will also allow for some of the weeds to grow.
Right. That's right.
And they will always grow. There will never be a time when there won't be weeds. Now he'll deal with weedtivity later on,
right,
you know.
Right.
But as far as we know today, our responsibility is to choose between the weeds and the healthy crop. And I don't think in this particular campaign it's difficult to see the weeds, and it's certainly not difficult to see the positive crop. So you know, this is a clear election. I don't think people should be confused at all. I've seen up close Hillary Clinton. I've known her for 35 years or more. I know the whole family. I've been in their home. I was in her backyard in Washington when she, the night before she announced that she was going to endorse Barack Obama for the presidency. And there were about 50 of us in the backyard, and people were saying some awful things. And I'll never forget, she said, "Shh, we're not going to do that. This man is going to be our next president." I will never forget it. And to me, that I was already a friend, but that further endeared me to her, because she could have easily just sat and tolerated like a lot of people do and listen to somebody badmouth somebody. But she wouldn't say, you know, she was essentially saying, you cannot talk about that man in my backyard.
Right. Right.
And so she treated him fine then and now. I mean, a lot of times when people run for the presidency, if they were a part of that administration, they try to get some distance. She stood up yesterday and said, if I am president, we're going to continue the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare as it is probably more commonly known, but we're going to try to attempt to correct the problems, because there are problems in it. I supported it, and I know today that we made some mistakes. For example, we thought that we'd have more millennials who sign up for the insurance, and they would be relatively healthy, and so it would offset the cost of the older persons who were insured.
The baby boomers like me.
Yes, and me.
Okay.
And so we
and Carlos next.
But the problem was that Evan, my son, and I don't know if your girls would fall in the same category, but in that age range, you know, they're healthy. I mean,
they ain't thinking about that.
No, and so.
How about a car?
That's right. That's right. My son, Evan, my youngest son, was insured today. This is today, and I've been threatening him for months. So he finally got insurance today. I mean, he's had perfect health. He lifts weights. He runs. You know, does all those things. So it's no. I mean, and when we were that young, right, we didn't think about getting sick or anything. So we made a mistake. we've got to do some things to get more millennials to get insurance. But the point is, Hillary Clinton is supporting it, and there are those who would like to destroy the Affordable Care Act, not because it's bad, but because it has the name Obama on it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. And I just
and that's
think
not right.
that's right. And what they want to do is have Obama's presidency go down in history as a failed presidency.
Correct. Now, give us special instructions for the millennium and the voters out there in Kansas City today. Special instruction.
Well, on Tuesday, November 8th, you need to vote. And if you go to a voting precinct and they say, well, your name is not here, or you should have voted somewhere else, then you say, and you have to say it because in many of these places they're not going to tell you. You have to say, well, okay, my name is not on the voter rolls. I want a provisional ballot. And then you then will have a chance to vote on a provisional ballot. And if they find out that your name has been wrongly removed, or they put it in another precinct, your vote will count.
Okay.
And so, but in many of the polling places, people understand they're not going to ask you. You got to go there and boldly say, if my name is not on the roll, I want a provisional ballot. And by federal law, they have to give it to you.
And if they refuse to, is there a number that they can call?
We're going to have, we've got about 25 or 30 lawyers who are available all day. I don't have that number on me at this point, but they can call my headquarters.
What's that number there? Yes, and we can, they'll be able to call your
Yes.
office and be able to get the instructions there at your office, right?
And if they have difficulty, they will be able to get an attorney to come to the voting precinct.
And the number at your office is 816-223-2928.
That is it.
816-223-2928.
Any problems with the polls, call that number.
Okay, and what are we saying for Tuesday, November the 8th? Go vote.
Go vote. Look, we've had people who died trying to get us the right to vote. And you want to be able to tell your children and even your children's children that there was an election in 2016, the most consequential election of our lifetime, and you voted.
Okay, and say one last word for those first-time voters. That's what I'm excited about.
You go and vote, and when you stick that pen into the slot where you're voting, you say, this is for grandma. This is for my great-grandpa who never had a chance to vote. And you keep it in there, and you make sure you vote for all the saints in your family that never got the right to vote.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Jim Watts. My goal in life and purpose is to inspire people to do better than some, so that some do better than most. What's up, Kansas City?
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.